There are tricks that you can use that actually outsmart the tricks your brain plays on you.
We live in a world where people are addicted to their devices. Today for 60 minutes, turn your devices off or don't look at your devices.
This is, without a doubt, the single best financial decision I have ever made in my life, what I'm about to share with you.
Want to be happy? Build a life, not just a business.
Living that believing life. Out here living that believing life. Every day we living that believing life. Hustle like we living that believing life. Living life, yeah, so we grinding it out. Every single day we be grinding it out. Hustle like we living that believing life, oh. That believing life, oh.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and this channel was created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back: a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know there's something more inside you too. You've got Michael Jordan level genius at something. So today, let's live your best belief life and learn how to make the next 100 days the best of your life. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Make 5-second decisions with Mel Robbins.
When you understand the power of a 5-second decision, and you understand that you always have a choice to go from autopilot to decision maker, everything in your life will change. You will be a different negotiator. You will be different in sales. You will be unstoppable in the gym because you will realize the amount of garbage that you put in the way of your hopes, of your dreams, of your potential, of your confidence, of your courage. Everything comes down to the decisions that you make. We all know what to do. None of us know how to make ourselves do it. So I started researching it. Why does something so stupid work? Why? Why does something so silly create such powerful and profound change? Well, here's why. The rule is a form of metacognition. Metacognition is a fancy pants term that means something real simple. You can outsmart your own brain in furtherance of goals.
Agreed.
There are tricks that you can use that actually outsmart the tricks your brain plays on you in furtherance of a higher purpose. We all know this. You can restrain yourself if you're in a situation that calls for it. You can jump into a raging river to save your dog or your kid. You can direct yourself in ways if it's important to you. And so the rule, what it does is it does something really remarkable. When you count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, what you're actually doing is you're interrupting what researchers call habit loops that get encoded as closed loop patterns in your basal ganglia. That's the part of the brain where your feelings, where your emotions, every habit that you have, which is nothing more than behavior that you repeat that you don't even think about.
I've heard it referred to as a gearbox.
Yeah.
To shift your attention from one place
Yes.
to another.
And so when you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it interrupts what's going on here that's spinning without you thinking, and it moves and awakens your prefrontal cortex. So when you hit 1, your habit has been interrupted. So you've interrupted self-doubt. You've interrupted maybe snapping at your kids. You've interrupted the desire to grab for a drink. You've interrupted procrastination. You've also, by counting backwards, done an action. It's awakened your prefrontal cortex. That is the part of the brain that you need that's awake when you're changing behavior, when you're learning new things. When you hit 1, it's also a prompt. So in the language of research, you'll hear people talk about starting rituals. That is something that's proven to help you learn a new habit. The 5-second rule, when you repeat it, becomes a starting ritual that triggers you to act with confidence, that triggers you that this is a moment for courage, that triggers you to shift gears. And because you've also done the manual work of awakening the part of the brain that you need to change, you've set yourself up for success. It doesn't work if you count up, because you can keep going. And also counting up doesn't require focus. If you count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it again awakens the prefrontal cortex and it prompts you to move.
Rule number 2, make good financial decisions with Cardone.
This is, without a doubt, the single best financial decision I have ever made in my life, what I'm about to share with you. Cash is trash. What you want is cash flow. You want cash flow. You want flows coming in that you don't have to work for. Do what you want, go where you want, say what you want. pitch what you want. The only way you can do that is if your time is independent of your income. When I was 29, maybe 30 years old, I realized there was no way I would ever create wealth with a job. I also realized I would never create wealth if I owned a company. If you want wealth, it will not be because you own a company. Owning a company has nothing to do with creating wealth. So when I was 30 years old, I started shopping real estate on the weekends. I've never been to a real estate course. I've never read a real estate book. I was shopping houses. I never bought anything, by the way. Shopping, learning the language, finding out about financing. What's a good deal? What's a bad deal? What's the difference between residential, commercial, retail, shopping centers? Where's the money at? Who's gotten rich with this? Which particular real estate works, okay? So for 30 years now, I started with a single family house. It was $75,000. If you're taking notes, do not buy single family homes. If it's got one door, live in it. Don't own it. You do not want your money sitting in a piece of real estate that doesn't pay you. The house I live in today, we rent. I rent where I live and I own 5,000 apartments that pay me every month. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die.
Hey, man.
Evan, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
You got a book coming out, don't you?
You just came out.
Where can people get it?
Get it on Amazon, easiest spot, built to serve, right there.
Let's go, man. If you guys don't know Evan, follow Evan Carmichael. He's got a new book out, Build to Serve. Go grab it today at Amazon. This is a good dude right here.
Rule number 3, focus with Robin Sharma.
Most people just show up at work. Most people just get through the day. Most people spend the best hours of their best days watching House of Cards. It's a good show, but we live in a world where people are addicted to their devices. You know, today for 60 minutes, turn your devices off or don't look at your devices. Your devices, your addiction to checking every WhatsApp that comes in, every notification from Facebook, every social media post is costing you fortunes of productivity, creativity, impact, and influence. When you focus monomaniacally on a project or a skill, a neural pathway gets set up around that one skill. Are you with me? Show of hands. Soccer player, football player, go to practice, deep practice every single day. You isolate a neural pathway. Every time you practice your skill, whether it's leading, whether it's innovating, whether it's managing change, whether it's communication, every time you turn off your phone, you get away from distraction because every genius has one thing in common: extended periods of time away from distraction and interruption. So when you get away from distraction and interruption and you focus on that one skill or that most important project, the neural pathway gets stronger and stronger. And the more you practice the skill, the more that neural pathway gets isolated. Now, when it gets isolated through deep practice every single day in an undistracted environment, oligodendrocytes, look at the person next to you and say oligodendrocytes. Just do that for me. Yeah, a little participation here in Dubai, please. Okay, so oligodendrocytes get triggered and they release a fatty tissue called myelin. Myelin, say that for me, please, myelin. Myelin is thought to be, by many researchers and scientists on high performance, to be the secret of genius. Wayne Gretzky says, I didn't skate to where the puck was, Come on, we're in Dubai. Hockey is popular, no? No, he said, I didn't skate to where the puck was, I skated to where the puck was going. Steve Jobs, I could see around corners. Messi, bend the ball like Beckham. These people were not naturally talented. They stripped away distraction. They developed a monomaniacal focus on mastery. They did it over an extended period of time. And what happened? Their brain kicked in to create a pharmacy of mastery that every single one of you in this room has.
Rule number 4, be positive with Richard Branson.
I'm positive about life generally, and I generally feel that you can find ways of solving problems and making things work. And I'm definitely a sort of glass, nearly full kind of person rather than a glass half full. So, I think out of being just a generally positive person, you can make positive things happen.
Rule number 5, get a mentor with Bob Proctor.
For the next few minutes, I want to talk about you. I want you to just think about you for a moment. I want you to think about your life. I want you to think about how you're living versus how you'd really like to live. You see, pay close attention to what we're doing, and you're going to find out that you can actually create your own economy. Now, I learned that many years ago when a man told me, he said, Bob, if you'll read this book and do exactly what I tell you, you can have anything you want. Now, I did not believe that, but after talking to him for a while, I believed he believed it. Guy was happy, he was healthy, he was wealthy. I was unhappy, I was sick, and I was broke. I had no formal education, I had no business experience. He said, that doesn't matter, Bob. What's happened in the past is the past. What happens in the future is based on the decisions you make. Now, I said, I know how to earn money, I know how to be happy, and I know how to stay healthy. If you'll do exactly what I tell you, your life will change. Well, it did. Over the next year, I multiplied my income. In fact, my life changed so much, I made a decision on one thing. From that point on, I would always have a mentor. I would have some kind of a coach, and I would pick someone that knows how to do what I want to do. And then I'd do exactly what they told me. And that's what I've done. And I've been doing that now for over half a century. I sat down and took a pen out one day and said, I'm going to build a company that operates all over the world. Well, right now I'm broadcasting all over the world.
And rule number 6, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is build your own stage with Beyonce.
There's so many different ways to be brilliant. I believe you and every human being is born with a masterful gift. Don't make the world make you feel that you have to look a certain way to be brilliant. And no, you don't have to speak a certain way to be brilliant. But you do have to spread your gift around the planet in a way that is authentically you. To all those who feel different, if you're a part of a group that's called Other, a group that does not get the chance to be center stage, build your own stage and make them see you. Your queerness is beautiful. Your blackness is beautiful. Your compassion, your understanding, your fight for people who may be different from you is beautiful. I hope you continue to go into the world and show them that you will never stop being yourself, that it's your time now. Make them see you. Now, if you've ever been called dumb, unattractive, overweight, unworthy, untalented, well, so have I. Whatever you do, don't let negativity of people projecting their own self-doubts on you deter you from your focus. I know those moments are painful, and you're human, and it hurts like hell, but now is the time to turn those criticisms into fuel and motivation to become a beautiful beast.
Now I've got a very special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy, but before that, it's time for the question of the day. I wanna know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? When you get motivated, inspired, you have a 35% chance of following through. But when you get motivated, inspired, and you create a plan of action, you have a over 90% chance of following through. And when you share it with other people, it jumps to 95% chance. Your likelihood of following through. And so I want that to be you from this video. We don't just watch videos here, Believe Nation. We do something. We take action. So I want to know your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week. Leave it down in the comments below because I want to celebrate you.
We don't change the people we hang out with because we're afraid. We're afraid that we're not going to find new people. We're afraid that we don't know where to find new people. We're afraid that we're going to get rejected and judged by these new people. We're afraid that if we lose the people who are hanging around us right now, that we'll have nobody, that we're starting over from scratch and we don't know what to do. And it's better to be with people who are just okay than to be lonely and be by ourselves. That's the problem. You're just afraid. But here's the thing. If you don't change it, if you don't change your circle, you're never going to grow. Chances are right now you are the most ambitious person that you know. You're the most ambitious person, the happiest person, the most positive person, the most optimistic, the most ambitious, the most loving, caring, big dreams person in your circle. Chances are that's you. And that's amazing. That's an amazing gift that you can give other people. You can pull other people up and you can support them and cheer them on. But who's doing that for you? Who's pulling you up? Who do you hang out with who makes you feel like you need to get better? Who's pulling you into a different world? Who says, hey, you can be more positive. You can play a bigger game. You need to believe in yourself more. Who does that for you? Chances are nobody. That's the problem. That's also maybe why you're watching these videos. It's why I make these videos on my channels, because I want to try to be that person for people. I want people to believe in themselves more, and content is definitely a way to do it. This is the starting point, but you have to decide that you're ready to play a bigger game, and that comes with making changes in your life, and that comes with taking some people out of your life. Now, doesn't mean you cut them out completely. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. You know, if your mom is always the one being negative and telling you that you suck or questioning you on things, maybe you don't want to cut her out of your life. But just because you were friends with somebody in high school or kindergarten doesn't mean that you should still be friends now. A lot of us are in these relationships out of convenience. And just because it's how it's been, you've always been friends with this person, so you must stay friends with this person. It doesn't mean you have to become mortal enemies, but you're gonna outgrow people. Think about how much you've grown in the past 10 years, 20 years. Think about me, I'm turning 40 in May. So, 20 years since university, the people who I was with in university in 30 years since school, man, how much have I grown in the past 30 years? How much have you grown in the past 20 years? How much have the people around you grown? Probably not that much. And so if you keep growing, and they're just kind of staying where they are, you slowly lose things to be able to talk about and connect over. And so you might pull them up a little bit, but you can only pull them up to the extent that you've grown. And they're likely pulling you down in a lot of areas. And so you have to do an audit. My recommendation is you do an audit. You do an audit on your life. You do an audit on the people around you. Think about who you hang out with the most. Start with the people. Like, who are you hanging out with the most? Your friends, your family, people in your social circle, people at work. Who are you hanging out with the most? And who actually gives you energy? Do an audit. Who gives you energy? And if they're giving you energy, you want to spend more time with them. You want to try to spend more time with them. And if they're sucking your energy dry every time, if you're leaving conversations with people feeling depleted, negative, pessimistic, man, you really need to spend less time with that person or just shut them out of your life completely. Because you living around negative, pessimistic people is not going to let you go off and build something amazing.
If you want to know how to renew your mind and break your mental barriers, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
When you use your body in a certain way, if I sit like this, I'm going to tap into a different channel of those waves than if I'm sitting like this.
We took 75 agents